I've talked about sending nudes before in a previous video, and my philosophy has always been, don't send nudes unless you're in a relationship with someone or you know them and you trust them. Even then, when you send a nude, your nude should actually be pretty PG-13. Maxim, not Playboy. And I got a huge backlash on this, and girls like, you know what? I'm confident. I should be able to do what I want. Yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Your scenarios won't turn out well, though. You can eat Big Macs for every meal. You're going to end up fat. So, you win? I don't know what to tell you, dude. Don't come crying to me that your relationships aren't turning out the way you want when you're doing things that actively undercut your power as a woman. There's a difference between being confident in your body and not knowing your worth. Just because someone asks you for nudes doesn't mean you should send them. Someone could ask you for your credit card. They could ask you for keys to your mom's car. Are you just going to give those? No. Why? Because you know what those are worth. You know the value and you know the consequences of doing so. I know the value of this, and I know the consequences of giving this to someone who doesn't appreciate it, who's going to be reckless with it, the way they'd be reckless with the car, the way they'd be reckless with my money. This is more valuable than those things. I can get another car, I can make more money, I can't get another body, and I can't get more dignity. That's not to say I don't love a good slut picture. I love me a thirst trap. And I personally think it's way more impressive if I can get my guy hard with like kind of a PG-13 photo of like legs or a little cleavage or like finger in the mouth or whatever. Like that's creative. Like that's, I got him. Not just like me spread eagle on a bed. Because first of all, like where do you go from there? It's like, well, there it is. And also it's just like the definition of pleasure is not getting what you want right away. Think about that. Like the things you've acquired in your life, you probably cherish the most when they were hard to get. You had to save up for them. You had to ask Santa. You had to really work for it. That's when you're like, ah. If something's too easily given, you don't really appreciate it. The point, though, that I'm trying to make is, why do guys ask in the first place? And if I were younger, it wouldn't have occurred to me to even ask myself this question. It's like, oh, well, because he wants me so bad. No. When a guy really wants you and wants you in the right way, like to date you, to get to know you, he doesn't lead with, well, show me your vagina. If you really wanted a guy and you really want to date him, you'd be like, can you just tell me how big your dick is before we go any further? Would you ever do that? No, you would never do that. Like, can you just like whip it out and measure it? Can you just like jerk off and get it really hard and put a ruler next to it? Am I creeping you out, girls? Because this is exactly the way guys are talking about you in reverse. A guy asks for nudes to see what he can make you do. That is what he's getting off on. Not your tits, not your pussy. And by the way, he's calling it pussy. There's not some folksy, adorable euphemism. He's using the most vulgar terms he can think of. He wants to see the pussy because he's like, look what I got this bitch to do. I don't even have to date her. I don't have to take her to dinner. I don't have to ask how her day is. I just got to say, send nudes. And here she is with her tits out. Ah, the power! They feel powerful at your expense. That's not a compliment. That's the inverse of a compliment. That's an insult. If some guys have asked me for nudes, I have been so insulted and so revolted because he's saying, hey, you look like a girl who doesn't know her worth, so why don't you give away to me something that you hold valuable so I can squander it and then think less of you for it? I'm not saying that this is fair. It's incredibly unfair, and it sucks. I should be able to show my vagina to whoever I want to at any time and have them still respect me. Guess what? It doesn't work that way. I should be able to eat the Big Macs 24/7 and not get fat. Doesn't work that way either. You can get mad if you want to. You can say whatever you want. It doesn't change how this game goes. Opting out of learning the rules doesn't mean you win the game. It means the game crushes you, and you end up losing. What I try to do with these videos is teach you the rules so you can play and win. And when I say game, I'm not saying you gotta run game on people. It's a fucking metaphor, people. Sometimes you guys take what I say really literally. So let's just recap here. If you are gonna send sexy pictures, make sure you're in a relationship with someone first. Because then you're in the trust tree. Even then, A little mystery goes a long way. Just because you're someone's girlfriend doesn't mean you can't make him work for the golden triangle, you know what I mean? And he's going to like that. He's going to like, men like to chase. And even when he knows he's got you emotionally, he's going to be like, she'll make me work for this. That's actually going to do more for your relationship than just sending the pussy pictures, sending the tits out. Make him work. Anticipation is what boys like more. They might not even have tuned into this is what they like, but they do. And if he's not in a relationship and he asks for nudes, you send him to me. I'll straighten him out like a piece of wire. For more, click subscribe and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at ShallonXL.